Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jai Radha Madhav Kunj Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari
Jai Radha Madhav Kunj Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari
Yashodanandana Vraj Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari
Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari
Yashodanandana Vraj Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari
Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari
Jai Radha Madhav Kunj Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari
Jai Radha Madhav Kunj Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari
Jai Radha Madhav Kunj Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari
जय जय श्री श्री राधा माधव भगवान की जय श्री
Jai
श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा देवी की जय, श्री सिंताई गौर सुंदर की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, पतित पावन श्रील श्रीपाद गुरु मात की जय, समावेत निताई गौर भक्तविंद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।
Hari Hari Bol
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठिकी. Welcome everyone in this Bhagavad Dharm's essential aspect study of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are studying in 6th canto, chapter 13, entitled Indra afflicted by sinful reaction. In today's text number 3. So, discussion is after killing of Vritrasura, Indra is feeling dejected, although everyone else is celebrating. That's the setup. Now, today the king is asking, Parikshit Maharaj asking question to Sukadeva Goswami. Indrasyanir vritir hetum shrotumichhami bho mune yenasan sukhino deva hare dukkham kuto bhavat. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Shukadeva Goswami, O great sage, what was the reason for Indra's unhappiness? I wish to hear about this. When he killed Vritrasura, all the demigods were extremely happy. Why then was Indra himself unhappy? Purport. This, of course, is a very intelligent question. When a demon is killed, certainly all the demigods are happy. In this case, however, when all the demigods were happy because of Vritrasura's having been killed, Indra was unhappy. Why? It may be suggested that Indra was unhappy because he knew that he had killed a great devotee and Brahmana. Vritrasura outwardly appeared to be a demon, but inwardly he was a great devotee and therefore a great Brahmana. Herein it is clearly indicated that a person who is not at all demoniac, such as Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj, may outwardly be a demon or be born in a family of demons. Therefore, in terms of real culture, one should not be considered a demigod or demon simply according to birth. In his dealings while fighting with Indra, Vritrasura proved himself a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Furthermore, as soon as he finished fighting with Indra and was apparently killed, Vritrasura was transferred to Vaikuntha Loka to become an associate of Sankarshana. Indra knew this, and therefore he was morose at having killed such a demon who was actually a Vaishnava or Brahmana. A Vaishnava is already a Brahmana, although a Brahmana may not be a Vaishnava. Wow. So Padma Puran says, Shat karma nipuno vipro mantra tantra visharadha avaishnavo guru nasyad Vaishnava shvapacho guruhu. One may be a Brahmana in terms of his culture and family and may be expert in Vedic knowledge, mantra tantra visharadha. But if he is not a Vaishnava, he cannot be a guru. This means that an expert Brahmana may not be a Vaishnava, but a Vaishnava is already a Brahmana. A millionaire may very easily possess hundreds and thousands of dollars. But a person with hundreds and thousands of dollars is not necessarily a millionaire. Vritrasura was a perfect Vaishnava and therefore he was also a Brahmana. Wow. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Swarup Damodar Swami Niti Namine Namah Sadbhakta Manaye Manipurudbhavaya Cha Srila Prabhupada Lasadvani Prachara Niratayate Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namah जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नाम संकीर्तनम यस्य सर्व पाप प्रणाशनम, प्रणामो दुःख शमनस् तं नमामि हरिं परम। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः, वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः, वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। So this Vitrasur episode is very, very enlivening and enlightening. So much amazing instructions. Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj noticing a wonderful paradox, that demoniac body and being a pure devotee. It depends in the attitude. The difference is in the attitude. The Brahmana, even first class Brahmana, situated in mode of goodness, but the devotee or Vaishnava is situated in transcendence. Big difference, correct? Mode of goodness is very attractive in comparative way, compared to mode of passion and ignorance, which has so many horrible things in the thought, in the speech, in the actions. In the lower modes is very, very not so pleasant. But so a person situated in mode of goodness, then he appears very, very wonderful. But a Vaishnava, he's above. He's transcendentally situated. The attitude, the difference in the attitude, the demeanor, the avesh, however good, even in the mode of goodness, the avesh of mode of goodness would be there. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam anamayam sukha sangena badhnati jnana sangena chanakya. This avesh, that I am happy compared to others. Others are running around and having a lot of problems, lot of situations. But I am resolved, One feels I am resolved. I know what is what. So sukha sangena badhnati jnana sangena. And I am in knowledge and I am happy. So this sense of becoming happier and feeling superior to others in this world, it binds him to this world. So Brahmana is also very much bound to this world only, but a Vaishnava is bound to the love of Krishna. Vaishnava's avesh is desire, hankering, aspiration to meet Krishna, to be able to glorify him. So avesh is different. And because of that avesh means our consciousness. We are defined, our destination is defined by what we are conscious of with avesh, consciously means what captures our thought. That is what we become. Like the attitude, as far as attitude is concerned, there's a famous story everybody knows about the yogi and the cobbler. Both would meet Narad Muni, the purest of devotee, and both would be very much interested in Narad Muni. You travel all over the world and you visit the Supreme Lord. Could you tell us how long we have to wait before we meet the Lord? So Narad Muni said, okay, I will ask the Lord. So Narad Muni asked the Lord, what is the situation, what is the destination of a cobbler and also the yogi. Both are inquiring when they will be delivered out of this world entanglement. So the Lord said, well, cobbler will come to me this at the end of this lifetime, but yogi will have to wait thousands of lifetimes. And so Narad Muni becomes baffled also. Narad said, सर भगवान दिस आप मुझे पहले पूछ रहे हैं ये क्या, योगी तो आपके ध्यान में ही बैठा रहता हमेशा meditate करता है इत्यादि इत्यादि. And a cobbler, he just takes once or twice your name. Maybe when he gets up and when he goes to sleep. In daytime, he is very much busy. Doing his work. So how you think that he is more qualified? He will just come after this birth, but the yogi will take several lifetimes. This is exactly what. So the Lord smiled and he said, well, they will ask that, of course, both asked that how is our Lord and what he does and all these things, to dramatize the story a little bit. So the Lord eventually told that, yeah, when they will ask what I was doing, if I then tell them that I was threading a camel through the hole of a needle. Everybody got it? The Lord was threading an elephant or camel through the hole of a needle. So Narad Muni comes and he comes to the cobbler first, or yogi first, cobbler, and Narad Muni says, and he becomes so elated, he prostrates himself and asks, what my Lord thinks about me, when will I attain his abode? Now say, well, very lucky news. After end of this lifetime, you will reach the heaven, or reach the Vaikuntha. My Lord is so merciful, so merciful. Narad Muni, can you tell me what my Lord was doing when he told you this wonderful news? Narad Muni said, you want to hear? Yes. Will you believe what the Lord was doing? Yes, tell. What is not to believe? He said, he was threading an elephant through the hole of a needle. So the cobbler becomes so full. Really? My Lord is so wonderful. He can do this. Impossible is nothing for him. So Narad Muni is baffled again. Do you think you believe it that the Lord can do this? Yes. If from a very tiny seed, if the Lord can produce the big banyan tree, what is difficult for the Lord to do anything like that? And then Narad Muni comes to the yogi. The yogi also shows his respect and asks the same question: when will I be delivered? Narad Muni, with little moroseness, a little not so much encouraging news to give. Well, the Lord said that it will take you 100 births or 1,000 births. So yogi felt, how is it possible? I've been meditating all the time and thinking like this in 100 births. What is the proof that you went to the Lord? So he dares to challenge Narad Muni's authenticity that he met the Lord. What is the proof? Okay, what the Lord was doing when you approached him? So Narad Muni told the same, that he was threading an elephant through the hole of a needle. And the yogi said, impossible, you didn't go to Vaikuntha. So see the attitude, because the yogi is so much, his avesh, his identification is with his yoga or practice or even bhakti. But the cobbler is feeling himself so downgraded, so humbled, so insignificant, that he's totally depending on the Lord. So his avesh is in the Lord. This is Vaishnava. Brahmanas may be endowed with wonderful quality. Kripalu, Akrita Droha, Satya Sara Sama, Nidoshe, Vadanya, Mridu, Shuchi, Akinchana, Sarvopakaraka, Shanta, Krishnaika, Sharana, Akama, Anihe, Stira, Vijita, Shadaguna, Mitabhuka, Apramatta, Manada, Amadi, Gambhire, Karuna, Maitra, Kavi, Dakshamoni. All these wonderful qualities a person may be endowed with, but the foundational, the main quality which makes one a Vaishnava is Krishnaika Sharana out of this 26. If one is not Krishnaika Sharana, if one is not a Vaishnava, he may be endowed with all 25. But they will disappear, they will not hold. But if one has become a Vaishnava, then all the beautiful qualities, they just decorate that primary or the central or the foundational quality of a Krishnaika Sharan, one who have exclusively taken shelter of Sri Krishna. This is what happens when bhakti rises in the heart of a devotee. Then pride or ahankar or the misidentification or the unwanted avesh. Avesh means misidentification. I am this and I am this. I am this doer. Ahankar vimudhatma kartaham iti manite, Krishna says. The ahankar dries, so we can check ourselves. Is my ahankar even on the apparently on the path of pure devotional service? How many things I identify myself? I think I am like this. I am this, and how many credits we want to take as a practitioner? The pride, the mundane material pride of lower modes. Maybe now it has come to the mode of little goodness, but still transcendence is a far cry. When the Vaishnavas bhakti arises, then the humility, he feels very humble. Heart feels humble. Dainyata, deenta ka anubhav hota, because through sadhana he realizes how utterly incapacitated he is, how utterly unqualified he is. Vaishnava sadhana is unlike all other sadhanas of all other processes. Vaishnava sadhana of pure devotional service, we do sadhana, we follow the rules and regulations and our bhajan to realize our utter unqualifiedness, utter insignificance. That is what we realize. In other sadhanas, the more sadhana you do, you get the sense of more qualified, more qualified, more qualified. The paradox here in the spiritual Vaishnava sadhana is the Vaishnava, the more he advances in bhakti, in his fervor, more insignificant and down or unqualified, and whatever we want to call it, because he experiences this unqualifiedness, insignificance, like Vritrasura. What he thinks, he tells that right now, oh Lord, I don't think I'm qualified to serve you directly or perform service, personal service of you. So what I wish that you make me servant of those who meditate upon your service and those who constantly think of you lovingly. Mamottama shloka janesu sakhya sansara chakre. We studied all these things. So this is the attitude of a Vaishnava, where he feels dependent on the mercy of not only Krishna, but more than the mercy of Krishna, on the mercy of the Vaishnavas, other advanced Vaishnavas. This is the mood of a Vaishnava. So I wish that you make me servant of the servant. This is the attitude of great people. Great people means those who are evolved in their devotional culture or devotional attitude. When they visit other Vaishnavas or other, then they always glorify and also show their subservience even to the servant of the Vaishnavas. So attitude of a Vaishnava is that if I show service attitude even to his servant, then he will notice me, correct? Same attitude. Oh Lord, if I'm able to serve your devotees, then you will notice me. So we are all trying to impress the Lord, because without impressing the Lord, nothing will be accomplished. So our trying to impress the Lord is that we love your devotees. As much as we love you, Lord, we also love your devotees. How can, if someone is dear to Krishna, we not love them? If you want to attract or impress Krishna, that is the idea. So they show this this demeanor, this attitude. They become subservient to the servant of the person. So if I become devotee of your servant, Vittasu says, then you will notice me. Dasanu daso bhavitasmi puyana. So in knowledge, sadhaka has knowledge, but when he feels a separation of the Lord, a feeling desperation for him, due to his gratitude, the Lord has been merciful unlimited ways. And what have I done for him? This remorse, this moroseness. So moroseness of a Vaishnava is of a different nature. He is remorseful and he wants to attain the special mercy of the Lord. So in remorsefulness, what happens then? He wants to do everything. He now he doesn't have the ego. How can I bow down to someone who appears to be junior to me or who appears to be not as qualified? A Vaishnava thinks that someone has endeared himself to Sri Guru and Sri Krishna. Then they are the perfect persons for my service. For me to serve them. This is the attitude of a Vaishnava we are describing, trying to compare Vaishnava versus in Brahmana. But so one who feels this desperation out of his moroseness that I have done nothing since eternity for the Lord, and Lord has done everything for me. So when he feels desperation, feeling very, desperation is the word, Vyagra, Utkanthit, to be able to do something to please the Lord, then his devotional attitude towards those who are devoted to the Supreme Lord, they also becomes demonstrated. But those who are ignorance, those ignorance, although ignorance due to forgetfulness of Krishna, their avesh, if they are too much concerned about their worldly affairs, how can they do bhakti? So bhakti is in desperation. Actually, before the stage of desperation, it's all imitation bhakti. Sadhana bhakti basically is imitation bhakti, because we are so much controlled by rules and regulations and judgment, very, very judgmental. This is right, this is wrong, this is better, and this is worse. Correct? If I do this, I will get this much credit. If I don't do, I will be deprived. All this is imitation. But imitation, nonetheless, of good thing, better than all the unwanted things unlimited in this world. But we must come out of. Rupa Goswami says the devotion starts at bhava. Because when the sentiment is spontaneous, then everything one does effortlessly. There is no pushing and pulling, and there is no comparing and competing. Rather, one naturally wants to sacrifice for the benefit of others to impress Krishna and Sri Guru. So before that stage, we are struggling big time, because we are stuck in imitation. And imitation means always stealing, always trying to deprive. किसी को वंचित करना, किसी को steal करना, किसी से steal करना. So all these things we find. Just a funny example comes to my mind. One of the disciples of His Holiness Radha Govinda Maharaj. So very, very nice accent. So he got first initiated. Now the pujaris in the temple, they asked, now you have to become second initiated so that we can use you. So he approached his Guru Maharaj, and because there was very personal, sweet exchange between the disciple and the spiritual master. So Radha Govind Maharaj says, okay, तुम वैष्णव बन गए, अब ब्राह्मण बनना है, demotion लेना है. So what he meant to say that once you have surrendered, you took the Vaishnava Diksha. Now you are aspiring to become a Brahmana, correct? It's the reverse. So of course, the context was different. It was just humor out of it. So, but here it is not the humor which is being mentioned. Here it is a real thing that becoming a Brahman is not enough. One has to become situated in Vaishnava attitude to make the completion of our human existence, because bhakti is the ultimate thing. Prahlad Maharaj. So Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, Shat karma nipuno vipro mantra tantra vishad avaishnava guru nasyat vaishnava shvapache guru. So such an amazingly qualified Brahmana, he is not qualified to become a guru if he is not a Vaishnava, if he is not devoted to Vishnu, if he is not fascinated, if his avesh, his mind, his words and his actions, if they are not dedicated, devoted to the Supreme Lord Vishnu, Narayan Krishna, then he is not qualified to lead anyone. He is not qualified to do real good to anyone. But a Vaishnava Shvapacha Guru, a person, he may have born due to his Puru Sanskar, whatever, born in a low-class family, but if he is by having received the mercy of a pure devotee, if he has become a Vaishnava, then that Vaishnava is worthy of taking shelter of. Vaishnava Shvapacha Guru. A Vaishnava has to be the spiritual master. That is the fundamental thing. Because Avesh is unwanted. until one becomes a Vaishnava, then his Avesh is material, rooted within the three modes of material nature. Prahlad Maharaj gives a very beautiful prayers, correct, about the Avesh. When all the Devatas, Brahmaji, Lakshmiji, everybody is afraid of Narsinga Bhagavan. Oh, who will appease him? The Lord is like roaring and very angry because to kill Hiranyakashipu. And so Prahlad Maharaj, everybody said, Prahlad, he appeared for you, so only you can appease him. Correct? He Narasimha specifically appeared to protect Prahlad. And Prahlad, he said, okay, I have no fear, although the Lord appeared very fearful. He just says, what will appease the Lord? Then he says, Manne dhana bhijan rupa tapashruto jas तेजय प्रभाव बल पौरुष बुद्धि योग है नाराधनाय हि भवन्ति परस्य पुंसो भक्त्या तुतोष भगवान गजयूथ पाय. The beginning of Prahlad Maharaj's prayer, he said, these are not the qualification to appease you, to attain perfection, to cause the fulfillment of perfection of human potential. Manne dhana, not the wealth. Abhijana, not the people around me, not my bodily form or beauty, not my austerity, not my study of the Vedas, not my prowess of the body, not my what, somebody has tremendous personality, of speech, and then the bodily strength or paurusham. Paurusham means one's prowess. Buddhi means sharp intelligence, analytical intelligence. I know better than you. I know no less than you. So buddhi. Naradhanaya hi Bhagavan. These are not the way to really appease the Lord. Aradhana means one who is pleased. Naradhanaya hi bhavanti parasya punsa, in a human being. These are not the qualifications to please the Lord. Then what is the qualification? Bhaktya tutoshe Bhagavan gajayut paya. The best of elephants, Gajendra. He was able to appease the Lord simply by devotional offering. There is saying in conventional many things. Nath, it is said that he just called out Na, and before he could finish the word Tha, the Lord appeared and just cut the crocodile's head and rescued Gajendra. So the whole idea is, it is the devotion. So devotional fervor will be blocked by these things. Avesh Janmeshware Suti Shribhir Edhamadam Adeh Puman Naivar Hato Abhidhatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gochara. Queen Kunti Devi also says that our Avesh, so Vaishnava is defined by his Avesh in devotion, not even of devotion, that I do this much sadhana, I am such a great devotee, like no. When his fervor is in devotion, then he will be very, very humble. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj then further gives this definition of what is the limit, how much is the limit of credit for a Brahmana, however qualified. But if he misses out to become a Vaishnava, then he can deliver no one, including himself. Manne tadabhi. What is that sloka? Vipra dvishad guna yutadara vindanabhat padara vinda vimukha swapacha varishta manne tadarpita mano vachane hitartha pranam punati sakulam natu bhurimana. Such a famous, one of the best to understand the beauty or the glory of a Vaishnava compared to the glory of a Brahmana. Vipra shad guna yutad arvindanava. Shad, dvishad. Divi means twice and shad means 6. Becomes 12. So a Vipra, dvishad guna yutad, endowed with all these wonderful 12 qualities of a Brahmana. Vipra dvishad guna yutad arvindanava. Padaravinda vimuktat, but if he is not devoted to the lotus feet of Lord, who has eyes like a petals. Nabha means the navel, like a lotus flower. Padaravinda vimukhat, if he is averse to the devotion to the Lord with the lotus navel. Swapacha Varishtam, better than him is that Swapacha or dog or born in a dog-eater family, because when one takes shelter of the Supreme Lord, he is no more dog-eater. But Swapacha means due to his previous sanskara, if he is born to such low sanskara, but once he becomes devotee, once he becomes a Vaishnava, how elevated he becomes. Swapacha Varishtam, Manne Tad Arpita, that such a surrendered soul, even if he is born in a low-class family. Manne Tad Arpita Mano, because he has dedicated his mind. Mano, Manne Tad Arpita Mano Vachana, his words. Ihita, all his desires. Artha, all his wealth and everything. Manne Tad Arpita Mano Vachane Hitartham. Pranam punati sakulam. He purifies the lives of his whole dynasty, even if he was born in a low-class family. This is the potency of one who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord by taking shelter of a pure devotee. This is the Vaishnava Parampara. How we surrender to the Supreme Lord? By surrendering, by identifying the person who manifests in a life of a Vaishnava, in a life of a sadhaka, it's Sri Guru. So, pranam punati sakulam natu bhuri mane, but a person proud of his 12 beautiful qualities, then he cannot deliver even himself. So 12 qualities, just as Shat Karma Nipuno Vipro, Shat Karma means Yajan, Yajan, Patan, Pathan, Dan and Parigraha. Yajan, Yajan, he performs yagya and also engages in doing yagya for others. Yajan, Yajan, Patan, Patan. He learns, he studies, and he also teaches. Dana Pratigraha, he receives donation, he also very charitably disposed. Brahmanas don't hoard things, so they have to donate to others. And the 12 qualities which Prahlad Maharaj is speaking is Jnanam cha Satyam cha Dhamma Shrutam cha Hyatmaryam Ajyavam Ris Titiksha Titikshnash Asuya. All these wonderful 12 qualities. Yagyasya Danamcha Dhriti Samascha Mahavrata Dvadasya Brahmanasya. So this Mahavrata means endowed with these 12 beautiful qualities. Brahmana is endowed, but even those wonderful qualities not sufficient even to deliver himself. So there is no match. When someone stands out so much, we call someone matchless, correct? Anupama. These words are very beautiful, na? Anupama. And matchless. So Brahmana and Vaishnava, apparently they may both look devotional or following the Vedic culture or whatever, but there is a vast difference. One is truly matchless. Brahman could be many. In the mode of just being in mode of goodness is one appears as a Brahman. One could be called a Brahman, just simply mode of goodness. But one who is situated on transcendence, he alone can be considered Vaishnava. And so, without that, it is not possible. So here, Parikshit Maharaj is asking the question to Shukdev Goswami. Shukdev Goswami becomes very impressed by the question because when some paradox is explained, then it becomes very beautiful. So demoniac body due to previous sanskara, no bar, but this is the magic of Mahat Kripa. Mahat Kripa on one hand, Mahat Aprad on one hand, one may be endowed with all the wonderful sanskaras, all the culture and everything, but Mahat Aprad of a pure devotee, Mahapurush, can create havoc in the life of King Chitraketu, which we will hear in forthcoming pages. On the other hand, he did receive the mercy of Mahapurush, and as an effect of that, he still remembers, and he is expressing the purest devotional fervor. And here, Parikshit Maharaj is also finding his fascination, and what he's saying that However, being afraid of killing, declined their request. No, Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Shukdev Goswami, "O great sage, what was the reason for Indra's unhappiness?" So Indra, he first-hand saw the demeanor and the attitude and the expression, the consciousness of a pure devotee. And he's really baffled. He said, "Wow, what a horrible work I had to do. I had to kill a Vaishnava. I have killed a Vaishnava. It will have reactions." And so he is morose, and that is the credit. We must give credit to Indra for that, for feeling that moroseness and that repentance. And eventually it will help him out, because he has first-hand seen the transcendental position of a person who is a Vaishnava, in spite of being in a demon's body. See the paradox, clear paradox. So anyway, many things to share, but I think I should stop here. And if anybody has any question, comment, addition, please come forward and bless us. Hare Krishna.
Pranam. It was a very nice and clear explanation. Yeah, anyone is having any question regarding today's class, they can raise the hand and ask His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Govind Maharaj. Nilamar Maharaj, please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna. So Nilamar Maharaj is with us in Vrindavan.
Wow.
Kaiye Maharaj, next some extension to Vrindavan glory.
महाराज जी आपका आवाज नहीं आ रहा है.
मेरा आवाज नहीं आ रहा है?
नहीं, नीलांबर महाराज को. महाराज अनम्यूट किया था.
आपको कमरे से बाहर आना पड़ेगा. इंटरनेट कमरा खोलिए. सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है. वॉइस बहुत.
महाराज जी अभी भी आवाज नहीं आ रहा है. हाँ, अभी थोड़ा ठीक है. हरि बोल. Okay, Maharaj ji left the call, it seems. Yes, Respect Maharaj ji, please.
Dandot Pranam Maharaj ji.
Dandot Pranam. All goes to Sripad Jai. कहिए महाराज. ऐड कीजिए कुछ.
So if Vaishnava is already Brahmana, then why are we having Brahmana initiation after Harinam initiation?
Well, I think you like the humor, huh?
What I love your real serious question. In our system, why are we having?
It can decorate a Vaishnava. We can see that way.
Why he has to decorate with something less?
No, Brahman becomes decorated. The Brahmanism becomes decorated when it's combined to Vaishnava. Otherwise, Brahman cannot even release himself. Brahman is incomplete also. That's the point.
Then why the restriction that one has to take Brahman initiation for deity worship?
Yeah, deity worship is transcendental. So the Brahman is utilized. If he's used in deity worship, then he becomes a Vaishnava. So deity worship is transcendental, but they are Karmakandi and others, other Brahmanas who take pride in their Brahmanical qualifications and all these things, but without achieving this devotional fervor, they are incomplete. This is very much described. And only when a person becomes a Vaishnava, then his avesh is humility. This is the difference between Brahmana and Vaishnava. Vaishnava is naturally endowed because he realizes how utterly small and insignificant he is, in spite of being endowed with all the wonderful qualities. So that's why even when someone becomes trained as a Brahman, one has to watch out what is his avesh. Avesh में ब्राह्मणों इसका है या आवेश भक्ति का है, भक्ति में है. You know, so the sadhana bhakti and even this the avesh of being a Brahmana or Kshatriya or Vaishya or anything, ultimately only when he becomes a proper Vaishnava, his pure devotional fervor and sentiments and demeanor and attitude, they will be reflected. Until that genuine humility transpires his heart, he has a lot of work to do. So apparent and real, this duality will always remain. So apparently one may appear as pure, correct, but not pure enough. Only a Vaishnava with his attachment to the divine couple, Sri Radha Shyam Sundar, that is pure. That is the definition of purity in Vaishnava culture. Otherwise, what else is the definition of purity? Purity is only from mode of passion and ignorance. Mode of goodness is considered pure, but that is not pure enough. Because Vaishnava is attached to Sri Krishna, to the divine couple. That's why he is pure. Because only by becoming that pure, Vaishnava pure, not Brahman pure, by becoming Vaishnava pure, one is out of this world entanglement. But just to become pure from the mode of passion and ignorance, one is stuck in the mode of goodness, like you like that saying, Akash se gira, khajur mein atka. So he has freed himself from mode of passion and ignorance, which is not so palatable, not so liked in the society. Mode of goodness, Maharaj, it stands out so much that the whole world in Vedic culture, they just worship Brahmanas. Brahmanas are worshipable, just being situated in a mode of goodness. But even they have to transcend that mode of goodness. Without transcending that mode, they could be stuck in their avesh that I am a Brahmana. So a Vaishnava, especially in our path, we must not identify I am a Brahmana. I'm now, because I have got Brahmana Diksha, so I have become better, I'm more elevated or more advanced or ahead of you. No. Ours is a path of pure love of Godhead. And when that fervor is developed, then we are all waiting for our gold medal individually. Nobody can deprive except oneself. So as long as we have non-Vaishnava attitude, in spite of being initiated in Vaishnava culture, we have to wait quite a bit. So all these aveshas are blocking us. Our avesh has to be in bhakti, not of bhakti even. In bhakti, when avesh comes, the humility, natural, the swarup lakshan of bhakti, of pure bhakti, is this humility. And the tatastha lakshan, the marginal symptom of pure devotion or Vaishnava, is his atripti, always hankering for more, always find his unfulfillment, because as Bhaktivedanta Thakur says, Janma sarthak hoy tar Krishna darshan hoy jare. Until he attains the audience of the Supreme Lord, the Lord of his heart, his worshipable deity, he doesn't feel that he has accomplished anything. Bhaktivedanta Thakur says that until Krishna has agreed, until Krishna has made or agreed to become the object of our vision, we haven't got anything yet. And so that unfulfillment, unachievement causes the devotee always unpride, because pride comes due to sense of accomplishment. A Vaishnava never takes pride that I got everything, I got this, I'm so qualified, that's why I got this, I get this. All these worldly facilities and adorations, a Vaishnava doesn't buy it. He doesn't become baffled by these, because he knows that the Lord has not picked me up yet. I still, so the atripti and the dinta, when both combine, then he becomes safe. and his Vaishnava attitude survives. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj is still not clear that one who took Vaishnava, for example, one who has taken Harinam Diksha, do we consider him as a Vaishnava or not? If yes, why do we insist on Brahmana initiation for deity worship? We can allow them to do deity worship.
Yeah, so deity worship Brahman is a Vaishnava, na? So one who is engaged in pure devotional service, deity worship is a part of the Vaishnava culture. So his depends, and it will ultimately, as I said, even on the path of pure devotional service, even after getting initiation. What is our avesh? Avesh is in our accomplishment, or that I have become qualified, or avesh is in bhakti. That will define the difference, not the external. So Brahman initiation, the specific question you are asking, it is not to demote him or just to now from Vaishnava you are coming down to the Brahmana, to the modes. Here Brahman Diksha is transcendental, because after getting this path of pure devotional service, now for additional service in the culture of, in our mission, we want to involve the training, for the training purpose, and also to it's like a what is it, finish, to fine tune all the things, and it helps a devotee, it helps a sadhaka to identify with certain norms, certain things, purity, correct? Purity, especially. Vaishnava should be very clean and pure, not only in thought but also in action and speech. Now, especially in deity worship, he will be clean and pure, even in his body-wise and mind and everything. It is not removing him from, but only adding to his excellence. So it is only to excel it, not to put. But it's what I'm trying to say is the avesh. One may have the wrong avesh that now I'm a Brahmana. So he must not identify being as a Brahmana over being I'm a servant of Krishna. One must have this avesh that I'm a servant of the servant of Krishna, rather than thinking now I am Brahman. It should not be. So avesh makes the difference. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj ji. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Nilamar Maharaj ji, please.
हाँ, कहिए. मुझे आपकी नीचे से आवाज आ रही है, माइक से नहीं. From your room I can hear this. I cannot hear so clearly. Are you connected, Prabhu?
No, Maharaj ji. Maharaj, Nilamar Maharaj, आप महाराज के पास आ सकते हैं ना, ये तो तब तक हम दूसरा तक सवाल लेंगे.
हाँ, दूसरा लीजिए.
Amrita ji, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Pranam Shri Guru Maharaj and Pranam all the Maharajas and devotees and Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, कहिए.
The lecture was very wonderful, and especially the difference between the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. And my question is, yes, there is a difference between Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and we should always respect Vaishnavas more, because Brahmanas are they cannot deliver himself, but we always see in deity worship the Brahmanas get the opportunity to do the deity worship. Even they have in their heart, they has the love for God or not, because sometimes they are doing just for their survival. because their deity worship become the mode of their survival to in this material world. And even and sometimes we see that even the Sudras, even they have in their heart they have a pure love for Krishna or for Vishnu, what we can say, but they do not get the opportunity even to see the deity. Then why this discrimination? We should always then why this difference is there? That even in heart there is a pure love. They do not get the opportunity to see even the God. The touch is
Okay.
remotely, and
Okay.
why even other things Brahmanas are doing like this.
Just hold on a minute. Maharaj is coming. I open the door. Three. See, again, we are missing the main point, just connecting back to Maharaj's question. Question is good, it requires some explanation. Every soul is a Vaishnava, correct? So title Brahman is an adoption. It's not the... Vedic culture, there are three modes, correct? So the Brahman is symptomized by mode of goodness, which is better than mode of passion and ignorance. And because of the cleanliness and all these things, the 12 things, because of his knowledge, because of his truthfulness, because of his austerity, because of his sense control, because of his simplicity, because of his lajja, because of his tolerance, and all these things makes one a perfect Brahmana. But ultimately, all these qualities help one to attain pure devotional platform. But without attaining that platform, these accomplishments comparatively can give him the sense of superiority. That's why the Brahmins are seen very respectable. Everybody respects them. So in the temple also, in the Vaishnava temples, the Brahmins are Vaishnavas first and Brahman later. That's why it goes second initiation. So first initiation, or identify that I am the servant of the Lord. That is the foundation. Second initiation is an elevation. Elevation in purity, in sanskar, many things, Vaishnava can also incorporate in his, because it's part of Vaishnava culture. These things, deity worship and many things are needed for propagation. We need a lot of Brahmanas. So Prabhupada said that we need a lot of Brahmanas. So Prabhupada didn't mean Brahmana removed from being a Vaishnava. Now everybody has become Vaishnava by taking this path, and now they can become so cultured so that people respect the Vaishnavas. So the Vaishnavas become also very much respectable, because otherwise, as you said, that those who are like from lower classes, they may have devotion, but they cannot perform worship in the temple, anything. But one can worship in their homes, whatever situation. So the whole idea is to become a Brahmana for particular purposes. That is one aspect. But and then if one becomes devoted to deity worship, if one has the desire, then his Vaishnavata will increase. So the Brahmana initiation is meant to increase our Vaishnavata, our humility and sense of more responsibility, rather than thinking that now I'm more qualified and I'm better than others. It's the other way around, So in that context only we have to take this. All right?
Yes.
Maharaj, what is your question?
मेरा प्रश्न है कि आप
इधर प्रश्न सुनो सबको.
हाँ, मेरा प्रश्न है कि काल हमारा ब्रजेंद्र महाराज क्लास में बता रहे थे कि वास्तविक इंद्र जो है वृत्रासुर को यदि संहार किया है, लेकिन निमित्त है. वृत्रासुर तो ध्यान समाधि में बैठे हैं और भगवान उनको आशीर्वाद दिए, ये करके वृत्रासुर का मृत्यु हुआ। वास्तविक इंद्र का कुछ क्वेश्चन नहीं है वृत्रासुर का मृत्यु का कारण। तो अभी पूरा रिजल्ट वो भोग कर रहा है सभी पाप। ऐसा क्यों होता है? उनको वैष्णव का मृत्यु का जितने पाप है सारे पाप उनको लग गया अभी। इसका कारण क्या है और कैसे ये हो रहा है? यदि भगवान ने वृत्रासुर ने स्वयं प्रयत्न करके शरीर छोड़ने को मरने के लिए तैयार हुए और इंद्र को माध्यम बनाए, लेकिन सारे पाप वो इंद्र को लग रहा है। ऐसा क्यों? उसका उत्तर
तो उसका उत्तर आप ही दे दीजिए महाराज, बहुत आनंद होगा सबको। मैं क्या बताऊं, ये आप तो हमारे पुरानी हैं, आपको तो इसका बहुत अद्भुत नॉलेज है। तो महाराज का प्रश्न भी बहुत उत्तम है। हमारे पास इतना उत्तम उत्तर तो है नहीं, इसलिए मैंने आपको ही कहा। तो इंद्र को ये पाप क्यों लगा, दोष है ना? तो कर्म, और ब्राह्मण तो है ही है वृत्रासुर, नो डाउट अबाउट इट। लेकिन वैसे सांत्वना तो दी गई, देवताओं ने भी सांत्वना दी कि भाई चिंता मत करो, ये तुम्हारे पास तो नारायण कवच का पावर है। नारायण कवच के कारण जो ब्राह्मण हत्या या जो भी ये 3 हत्याएं मुख्य है ना, उन पाप के दोष से मुक्त हो जाता है। तो ब्राह्मण हत्या का जो पाप जो यहाँ पे वर्ण आएगा, उसका दोष इंद्र को नहीं लगना चाहिए। इंद्र को क्यों लगा, यही प्रश्न है महाराज का। तो इंद्र को क्यों लगा दोष, यही है ना। और इंद्र बहुत परेशान है, भागा। उसको तो जो पाप है वो सामने, वो वृद्ध महिला और बहुत डरावनी महिला के रूप में सामने आके उसका पीछा कर रही है। यही है कि दोष तो 3 गुणों के अंतर्गत है ना, 3 गुणों के अंतर्गत ही दोष है। अपने पद की रक्षा करने के लिए और अपने उसने इंद्र ने जो, और एक बार नहीं बार बार किए ना, 2 बार ब्राह्मण की हत्या की, एक बार किसी को बचा ले गए हैं। सो इंद्र इज नॉट फ्री, जैसे हमने वो एग्जांपल दिया ना एक बार कि if someone thinks that I am free, I'm in a free world, you know, one has to follow the traffic rule. If traffic rule is violated, if he runs through the red light, एक बार बच गए, दूसरी बार बच गए, or think I'm free, but there is always possibility of being caught. So 3rd time or 4th time he will be caught and he will be fined. He may lose his driver license. So once he loses his driver license, what will happen? Is he free or he is in bondage? He is deprived of his right to drive the car or vehicle. So one who follows the rules, any system, then he can feel free. He doesn't have to worry about being caught. So the thieves are not free, but those who follow the rules, they are free. So here, Indra, he just self-implicated himself. So it shows that as powerful as a position is a king, these sin, they haunt him also. Only one who takes exclusive shelter of Krishna, like Vritrasura, then alone. So just to establish the clear difference between the position of Vritrasura, his consciousness, where he is seeing, attaining the supreme abode of the Lord, and Indra, he's just haunted by the sin. That means he has to face many consequences. One cannot avoid the consequences of these 3 modes of material nature until and unless one has taken complete shelter of Sri Guru and Gauranga. So that is a little understanding I have. Maharaj, if you have something more to add, please do. महाराज स्पेसिफिक उत्तर बताएंगे उसका। आइए ऊपर, इधर आइए, बैठिए।
थोड़ा हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा महाराज।
महाराज तो बहुत अच्छे से वर्णन किए। हमें त्रिगुणातीत जब तक नहीं होते हैं, हमारा सारे कार्यकलाप का प्रभाव हम लोग को भोग करना पड़ता है, इस स्वभाव में। तो इंद्र भी वैसा ही त्रिगुणातीत नहीं थे, तो इसी कारण यदि भगवान ने उनको निमित्त बनाए पुत्र सर को स्वधाम प्रत्यावर्तन का होने पर भी उन्होंने एक्टिविटी का कर्म फल से मुक्त नहीं हो पा रहे। तो इसका उदाहरण हमारा एक भक्ति समृत सिंधु का श्लोक है। ये श्लोक है अनासक्त से विषयान तथा आरम्भ उपन्यते निर्बंध कृष्ण संबंधे युक्त वैराग्य उच्यते। तो हम लोग जब पूर्ण रूप में उपभोग प्रवृत्ति से अनासक्त हो जाएंगे, मुक्त हो जाएंगे, तभी हम लोग के सारे कर्म का रिजल्ट पूर्ण रूप में नष्ट हो जाएगा। और वो क्या बताए? निर्बंध कृष्ण संबंधे। जब ऐकांतिक भाव में हम लोग भगवान कृष्ण को केंद्र करके, कृष्ण का संतुष्टि को केंद्र करके, चाहे अच्छे कर्म हो बुरे कर्म हो, जैसे पितामह भीष्म को युधिष्ठिर अर्जुन ने संहार कर दिया, अपना पितामह को, इतने बड़े ब्रह्मचारी है, साधन सिद्ध पुरुष है, होने पर भी उनको थोड़े भी पाप नहीं लग रहा है। लेकिन अभी इंद्र को लग रहा है, क्योंकि इंद्र के अहंकार है, मैं संहार कर दिया, मैं ऐसा कर दिया, अपने आप को निमित्त मान रहा है, मैं स्वर्ग राज्य को सुरक्षा दे रहा हूँ, मैं ऐसा कर रहा हूँ, ऐसा कर रहा हूँ। ऐसा जब तक हम लोग अपने आप को निमित्त व कर्ता अभिमान समझते रहते हैं, तब तक हम लोग को ये रिजल्ट भोग करना ही होगा। तो इसी कारण हम लोग वास्तविक कर्ता नहीं है, जो भगवान कहते हैं सभी कर्ता अहम इति मन्यते, अहंकार विमूढ़ात्मा कर्ता अहम इति मन्यते। तो ये अहंकार के कारण ही इंद्र को भोग करना पड़ता। हरे कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण। महाराज तो समझाए, मैं थोड़े बहुत बताए।
हरे कृष्ण महाराज जी, आप महाराज का दे सकते हैं।
हरे कृष्ण। ठीक है, ठीक है।
हरे कृष्ण महाराज जी, और चित्ते से प्रभु इज हैविंग ए क्वेश्चन।
यस, चित्ते से प्रभु कहिए। आप तो बहुत समय, बहुत दिनों बाद में आए।
हाँ कृष्ण महाराज, धन्यवाद, प्रणाम।
अच्छा, हरे कृष्ण।
ओके, नील माधव प्रभु।
अच्छा, नील माधव, मैं सो अच्युत केशव। नील माधव कहिए।
Main thing here, from this episode we can see, like, I'm feeling like Indra got all this wonderful devotional, what to tell, things, but we were unable to see. So even similarly in our life also, experience, we are, Krishna is giving us this wonderful path, wonderful devotees, wonderful scriptures, everything, but still, why we are unable to manifest the desire for serving, or desire, why we are unable to get this desire to serve or something. We are always trying to escape from service, right? So why we are unable to get this desire manifest? Hare Krishna.
Well, you have to desire it very, very much. You know? Something you understand, something we know. If we appreciate this devotional path and its ultimate achievement, and we must cry out for desiring that. And that's why when one surrenders to the lotus feet of Sri Guru, then at least he must try, he must endeavor, he must dedicate 100%. And dedication is meant to lead to devotion. So one should be fully hopeful, because ours is not path. There is no hopelessness on this path. So, and one should hanker for it, what I have not. So desiring enough will make it possible, because Krishna is not casual, correct? Krishna is not ordinary. So we cannot worship or think ordinarily about Krishna. It has to be very Tibrena Bhakti Yogena. It has to be intense. So now question is how to make it intense. So this is how it begins, with dedication to Sri Guru. When you dedicate, then it leads to devotion. That's what happens, Sri Guru Charane Rati. So when you develop that attachment to the noble status, to the absolute status of Sri Guru, and magically one becomes blessed with the same ingredient of pure devotional attachment to the Supreme Lord. This is the secret. Read this shloka in third canto, chapter 7, text number 17, 18, and 19. 19 especially. Yat sevaya Bhagavata. This shloka is the exact answer to your question. Yat sevaya Bhagavatas. Yat sevaya Bhagavata kutasthasya madhudvishaya. Rati raso bhavet tivra. That you said, desire. Tivra means the intensity. That force of devotion will be ignited in your heart. Rati raso bhavet tivra padayor vyasanadana. And as a result, all the unwanted anarthas, all the things which are blocking that desire to blossom, that hankering for the Supreme Lord, hankering to be a pure devotee, it will sprout. So this, it sounds very simplistic, correct? That's why when the scripture said, Yasya deve para bhakti yatha deve tatha guru tasyaite kathita yata prakashante mahatmana. It sounds very simple, correct? But the question which you asked is the real question. How to attain that? How to attain that kind of devotion? How to attain that kind of love and worshipful mood towards the spiritual master? Correct? That's why the initiation. Initiation is you enter into that path where you aspire for it. You dedicate, you follow the process, you follow the directions. And it's gradually, it just happens. One has to be totally convinced about the divine position of the spiritual master. The spiritual master has to be perceived as the absolute most blessed person. Among all the Vaishnavas, my spiritual master is the most blessed. He's the best of the Vaishnavas. You know, to call the spiritual master a great Vaishnava is also an aparadh. Let me repeat. To consider one's spiritual master as a great Vaishnava is also an aparadh. One must perceive the spiritual master as the best of the best. He is the most blessed, who can cause my most blessedness. I am very blessed to have taken shelter of the most blessed spiritual master. And he will cause my becoming fully blessed. Hare Krishna. So you memorize that shloka, Nilamadhava. 2-7-19. 3-7, yeah. 3-7-9-8, 17, 18, 19. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Yeah. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes.
Yeah. In theory, every time theory I'm understanding, but this thing is really very, again after class, again it goes in reverse way. So
No, it won't go. If you memorize that shloka, if you read 17, 18 and 19, guaranteed you cannot forget. We had this discussion in, we visited Maharaj's uncle in Vijayawada. No, Vijayawada or Hyderabad. You know, we inaugurated that Srimad Bhagavatam said in his house in Telugu. I could hear Telugu very beautiful. And Maharaj read the Telugu of these 3 shlokas. And we had a wonderful discussion. It's very powerful because the secret is revealed. The secret is revealed, and one should not take it lightly. If we understand the secret, you know, like Krishna says, Raj Vidya Raj Guhyam. Oh, I know this shloka, so I know the Krishna says it is Raj Guhyam. It is still the top secret. If something is spoken, how it becomes, it has to be realized. No? So until realized, it remains a secret. Although it is Bhagavad Gita message and direction is open for everyone, but very rarely someone realizes. So for most people, it remains a secret. So even when we study Srimad Bhagavatam, we know all these instructions, directions, everything. So unless unless we find our conviction, the realization could be a far cry. So we must take the words of the scriptures as it is and give our best shot to it in this lifetime. And you can make it, Neela Madhava. We all can make it. For all of us, our gold medal is waiting. So don't worry that someone is ahead of you, someone is behind. No, everybody is going to get the individual gold medal only. So why should you be discouraged? You have the potential also. You have the same potential as a human being to go for a gold medal full force. And you can definitely make it. We just want to give our total confidence to you. All right?
Yeah. Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj. Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there are two verses sent by Prajan Swami Guru Maharaj in the chat.
What Maharaj says, should I see?
Yes, Maharaj. Janmana jayate srota samskarata bija uchyate. Okay. Rajpat Swami.
अच्छा कौन से महाराज ने भेजा है?
रजत महाराज भेजा.
अच्छा हाँ. जन्मना जायते शुद्ध संस्कारात् द्विज उच्यते वेदाभ्यास भवति विप्र ब्रह्म जानाति इति ब्राह्मण. Yeah, that's why I say that Brahma Janati. Brahma means ultimately Krishna. So one who knows Krishna, like Vadanti tat tattva vidas, tattvam yad jnanam advayam, Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdate. So then Brahman ultimately has to become the devotee. But in our context, our discussion today, the clear difference between Brahman just by his 12 qualities and beautiful mode of goodness. So Brahman in Vedic context is basically in a mode of goodness. So only, but in real sense, he becomes a Brahman only when he attains the perfection of becoming a devotee of the Lord. That's why Brahma Janati Brahman. Janmana jayate shuddha sanskar vijay uchyate shapanugraha samartyam tatha krodha prasannata. Okay. First one Manu Samhita, that is there.
Yeah, thank you, Maharaj. And I think there is one more question by Amritaji. So Amritaji, please make it short, and I request Maharaj also to make the answer short.
Okay, thank you. Pranam Shri. My question is that as we are doing sadhan bhaktis, so the main goal of our sadhan bhaktis is to develop an adesh to meet Krishna or to please our Sri Guru. Then, but if we are developed some kind of avesh or asakti or passion to meet Krishna or to serve totally to please our Sri Guru, then sometimes it becomes sometimes we are not able to connect in the material world properly. Then how we are able to control our avesh there so that we are able to do our duties also properly in material world?
Yeah, Avesh we may have for Krishna, just like the gopis had Avesh to meet Krishna, but they waited until Krishna called them, correct? So we don't expose our how much devotion we have and how much we are dying for Krishna and everything. So this is the test ultimately. Ours, gopis are our leaders, they are our ideals. So they demonstrated, they were engaged in all household chores. And they were very eager, very, very anxious to meet Krishna because but they waited until so when Krishna noticed that they are fully ready for me or whatever, so they waited until Krishna took the initiative. They were ready, eager, very eagerly. But so when Krishna does something, when Krishna takes the initiative, then because that is the param dharma, to please Krishna's desire, to fulfill Krishna's desire. If Krishna calls me, then no husband, no daughter, no sister, no father-in-law, mother-in-law, no jatila, kutila, nobody can stop me. So this is the test of a sadhaka. So Krishna provides that timing. Okay, develop your fervor. So ultimately, one can meet only when Krishna agrees to meet us. Correct?
Yes.
So we have to become very eager, very anxious, everything, but we cannot become adhir. Adhir means impatient. We cannot afford to become impatient. We have to patiently survive the pain and the feeling and desire. So Krishna is watching, correct? Do we believe that Krishna is watching us? We are under Krishna's watch.
Yes.
If somebody is thinking of Krishna 24/7, do you think Krishna is not thinking of that person? Krishna says, Maya Sakta Mana Partha Yogam Yanjan Matashre. So one who becomes attached to Krishna or Sri Guru, naturally Sri Guru also notices it, because he's playing Krishna. Sri Guru is nothing but playing Krishna for the sadhaka. That's why Sri Guru is also Pujya, although in Swarup he is a Sevaka. But for the Shishya, Sri Guru is also as Pujya. Ishta is Krishna. So together. And so when one becomes devoted to Krishna through Sri Guru, then naturally Sri Guru knows how to direct one. And if one sticks to the direction of the Sri Guru, then Krishna becomes absolutely pleased. So that's why our process of this Bhagavad Dharma is taking shelter of a pure devotee, Sri Guru, and the Vaishnava's direction. We are guaranteed full success. Krishna, we can feel Krishna smiling in Sri Guru actually. It is described that the sadhaka sees Krishna reflecting in one Sri Guru. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Very nice. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Yeah, we can conclude for the day.
Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhurev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavyo. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai,
Jai.
Srila Sripad Guru Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samavet Nitai Gaur Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Nitai Gaur.
Jai. Hare Hare Bol. His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Govind Maharaj ki jai. Thank you one and all for joining. See you on tomorrow's class.